Hello. Happy Last of Us Day, everybody. My name is Ronan Chain, and let's celebrate as best as we can. For those who don't know me, I do YouTube, I do reactions, reviews, podcasting. As you can see, I am a huge Last of Us fan, and I've been doing the celebration streams for a couple of years now, which is kind of weird to think about. But nonetheless, I don't like doing these things alone, and I have other survivors with me. I have my fellow friend Johnny Barrow. Johnny, how you doing, man?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm surviving. I'll give you that one.
Yeah,
I'm enduring. I'm enduring more
we
than
are we
surviving,
are
probably.
enduring and we're surviving.
Yeah,
We're doing the thing.
yeah. Also with us, my other survivor compadres. I have Jarrell Alexandra. Jarrell, how you doing? You're me, brother.
My bad. What's going on?
Not much, man. How are you doing in The Last of Us Day?
It's just a normal day. You know what I mean? Is my audio coming in good?
You're good. You're good.
Okay. Yeah. No. It's just a normal day. It's all good.
Beautiful. And also my co-founder, co-host of this show, and the one I was just like, yo, we got to do this. Samuel Leggett. How you doing, Sam?
What's up, guys? I'm good, man.
How's your festivity going for Last of Us Day?
It literally just started because I've been working and taking care of kids. This moment, these 2 minutes that have transpired is the moments that I'm celebrating with you guys. So
Nice. So yeah, folks, we're gonna be celebrating stuff, and for the uninitiated, we are gonna be, if somehow we talk about the games in the past tense, we might bring up spoilers. So just give me a heads up that we might spoil stuff. So if you haven't seen the show or haven't played the games, proceed with caution because we might bring up some of that stuff when we express our connection with the franchise. But first, I want to also say hi to Master Jeffrey, who's been here from the get-go. How you doing, Jeffrey? Endured, survived. Johnny, what's up, Jeffrey? Hi, Ronan. Hi, everybody. Nothing much, just chilling. Nice. Okay, so the franchise has existed now for 12 years.
Crazy.
Yeah, which is nuts to me. We'll start off with this. I want everybody to go around and just express as much as you want to see your connection. For people who don't know us, your connection with the franchise. That way they know, okay, why are these guys taking out of their random time on a random Friday for this Last of Us Day? Why do they like this franchise and these characters this much? And we'll start off with Johnny.
Oh, nice. Okay. Got the hot seat first. I guess my love with the franchise, like everybody, probably started with the first game. I remember I played on the PS4 for the first time, not the PS3. I remember when I first got my console, was the first game I had on PS4. I played the intro. I said, holy shit, I'm crying like a baby in a video game. I don't want to play this game anymore. And I literally didn't play it for a few months. Probably even close to a year. Because I've never been affected by a video game like that before. And then I went back and eventually finished the game. And, I guess like Joel in the way, I was kind of in a dark time in my life. And this little fiery ginger kid just sparked some hope. Sparked some hope in me. And I just found myself really just connecting with Joel and Ellie like I really haven't connected with characters like that in a very long time. They instantly became two of my favorite characters just of all time in anything. And yeah, I mean, it just started slowly consuming me. I beat the game. I was obsessed with it. By that point, I think part 2 was like announced, like the teaser trailer. So as soon as I beat part 1, I watched the trailer for part 2, and then I did Left Behind, and then I was part of the waiting game for part 2. Like, I think I played the game around like 2014-ish, I want to say, or 15, somewhere around there for the first time. I played the factions multiplayer. Like, I just got really into it. I was watching all the behind the scenes stuff. Yeah, it completely consumed me. And, I'm a big fan. So, Yeah, just really connect with the characters, connect with the story, and all the emotional damage it's given me over the years, and therapy I probably need from the games. But I love it even if the games don't love me. So yeah, just I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Jarrell, before we get to you, I wanted to answer Cameron Walker's question. Hi, Ronan. Is you going to talk about the whole state of play Last of Us thing? First of all, hi, Cameron. Thanks for taking your time to join us. Yeah, we'll bring that up eventually about perspectives, strategies, logics, or illogics, or stuff about that later down the line when we do go into the day of celebration, and we'll eventually bring up the state of play for you. Jarrell, let's go with you. Why do you care about this? Why do you give a shit?
Why do I care? Well, it's Joel and Ellie for me. Well, I mean, I love apocalyptic styles stories.
Genre.
So so that already kind of has my foot in the door. But Joel and Ellie are they're still my favorite, like, I guess, fictional characters of all time. At least since the sequel to the game. And it's hard to articulate why. I mean, I think they're just the most vivid characters I've ever come across before. And I'm not sure what to do with the information, but I've been cursed with it, unfortunately. I think the only thing that gets close is maybe like Guts from Berserk. And maybe some other characters in Berserk.
Anime.
But that would be about it. Well, and then after that, it's like Superman, Batman, and it trickles down if you want to get super technical. But these two, they affect me a lot. And I guess that's probably why.
Nice. And then before we go with Sam, let's say Jeffrey's saying, I remember playing the game for the first time. Me either, Johnny. That first game was amazing. Talking about The Last of Us in general, Cameron. I missed the multiplayer of The Last of Us. It was so much fun. And Sam, why did you listen to me? Why did you go like, okay, Ronan, fuck it, let's do this podcast? Why?
Yeah, I've been in love with The Last of Us since 2013. I did have it on PlayStation 3. At the time when I played it, from the very opening all the way to the very end, like, it felt like an immersive film. And I've always been a big proponent of that. Like, if you've looked at like games like Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, like those kind of games, and the immersive side of those and putting you in the mix of it, Heavy Rain was before its time. But this game stapled it from a narrative perspective. The narrative is what caught me up. And of course, the gameplay is amazing. And then, of course, they doubled down on that, making probably one of the best hand-to-hand third-person like video games of all time in the second one. Like, from gameplay standpoint, still nothing can match it. But when I played the first game, at the end of it, I was kind of like, man, this is not about a good guy. Like, this is about somebody that's made a choice. This is about a human, and a very flawed and possibly an evil one at that. And based on the way that it ended. And so from that point, like, I was in love with it, but at the same time, I didn't know how I felt about it. And then by the time I got to the second game, it was funny. Like, I think I'm a big contributor to Jarrell getting introduced to The Last of Us. I'm not going to tell his story. He can tell that himself. But I was letting him know, like, I was like, this may be it, and it was, like, for better or for worse, it made me cry. It made me rage out. Like, but from a narrative perspective, I still have not played anything quite like it in the second game. It brought me through so many different ranges of emotions that a movie tries to do at times, but sometimes will fail. And I think that this franchise has stood the test of time. So, like, now at this point, like, when they were talking about doing like the factions, like, gameplay and multiplayer, I was all for it, even though that got nixed. I remember when they did like the prequel game, I was all for it. And just so you guys know, if you guys are PlayStation 5 owners, you can get the Last of Us 2 and The Last of Us 2 remastered for free right now, just as long as you're a PlayStation Plus subscriber, you can get those games right now. So if you want to play the games, you want to get them for free this whole week. And again, Sony is not paying me for this. I'm just letting you guys know because it's a freaking good game. And the remaster also gives you some really good nuggets. And an amazing thing with Neil Druckmann called Grounded that I think you would love. But
Yeah.
all in all, man, like I think that it is a near perfect franchise. It's just I just need the narrative to be completed. At the very least, continued in some way that allows us to have some kind of closure. Because regardless of if The Last of Us TV show has 2 more seasons, we will still feel in our bones that there has to be some real closure. And I think with every good narrative, we need that. And I'm holding on for that, just like I think everybody else here in this panel is doing the same.
Yep. I agree. Hey, Mikey. How you doing, man? If you want to join us, just let me know, and I'll send you the link. Jeffrey says, hi, Mike. Charles, I love Berserk. Oh, we just wanted to put that out there. Sadly, right now, I don't have a PS Plus, LOL. Yeah, it's tough with that.
Hey, get the free one. You get it for free for a month. And then get rid of it.
Yeah. With me, it started off with being, first of all, as a kid, loving Crash Bandicoot, and then as I got old, I was like, oh wait, that company made the cool games now. Okay, that's sweet. And initially, I started my connection with Naughty Dog through Uncharted. I love the Uncharted series. I still love it. And then someone in the family was just like, play this. I'm like, what? I'm not into zombies. I respect it, but I'm not like, play this. And I played it, and it was like doing, I'm not gonna say it, but like just doing stuff, and you'd be like, oh, okay, cool, I'm in. And getting into the Grounded documentary, and then getting into part 2, and then experiencing that, and then the TV show, which for anybody, selfish plug, but like if anyone wants to know how big of a fan I am, just go watch. Most of all these fools have been in like years since I've known them, years of just talking about the franchise, the gaming, and the show. Some of us, you'll see our reactions where we go through a bunch of emotions. So that's my connection to it. And it's one of the cool things that I was like, all right, I'm cool that I balanced this out, because there's other stuff that I love just as much, if not more. But this is a special thing for me as a fan and just as a geek and nerd. That's my connection to it. I already did that, LOL. Crash Bandicoot is OG and still one of the greatest games of all time. I agree. I still think if Joe and Ellie are not the mascots of Naughty Dog, Crash Bandicoot should be, in my opinion. But yeah, so muchachos, it's, again, I don't know if anybody knows, but it's Last of Us Day, and we got some updates for those who are interested, and specifically in the shopping section. They dropped some cool new merch if you're interested in collecting. And for those who don't know this, there's an article that I'll pull up in a bit, but just to break it down for you, that most of it is plushies, some statues and whatnot. Is anybody here collectible? Are you into the collection stuff right now or no? No? You are, Johnny?
Yeah, I mean, I got the deluxe edition of part 2, so I have the Ellie statue from that. I have the Joel statue that Dark Horse put out with the guitar. And then I have like one of the mini Ellie statues and the Funko. I mean, I'm a nerd. I collect stuff. So I definitely have a lot of Last of Us merch, and without jumping ahead too far, the statue they put out today is cool.
Oh, I think his microphone is out, guys. So, yeah.
Oh,
His microphone is off? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's got something going on with his mic.
oh, my bad. My bad.
No, you're good. You're good. We can keep it going.
Yeah. I definitely, I'm interested in the merch, but like, I don't know. It's been a little while since I bought some of the Outbreak Day, or my bad, we don't say that anymore. Last of Us Day, Last of Us Day merch. But I did see the statue they put out today, and I thought that was cool, and some of the plushies and stuff. But yeah, I don't know if anybody else has any Last of Us collectibles and stuff.
Yeah, can you share this screen, Ronan? I know you can hear me, but I don't know if it's still gonna let me. share
So
it.
yeah, so can you guys hear me? Am I good?
Now you're
Yep,
good.
can hear you. Yep.
Okay. So do you have the article that they dropped on NaughtyDogs.com?
Yeah, that's what I got right now. That's what I have up right now.
Okay. So let me see.
Pop, 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 pop. Boom, cha, cha. So this
There we
is
go.
the new merchandise section. Which, oh my god, when I saw this, I was like, this is magic. I want this so bad.
Yeah, them putting out the scripts. Yeah, that is wild.
That is cool.
Like, that's so freaking cool, dude. Like, I feel like I need this just so I can kind of have stored somewhere. Just because, like, I do honor, them from what they've done from a narrative perspective. But this is the statue you're referring to?
Yeah. The bloater or the shimmer.
Dude, this is freaking creepy as hell.
Shimmer.
It's awesome.
And then these are cute.
Yeah, U2's sadly, U2's. I mean, they always do it, but they spoiled it like in Monday. Like, there might be something you want to buy on Friday. I'm like, okay, more plushies, cool.
Yeah. And what the hell is this supposed to be?
Okay, so this is
It's the brick.
Yes. So this is from early on in the game that hasn't been put out in a while now, and this is the only thing that I was just like, okay, I need to get that because hence the podcast name. I'm like, I have to have
Bottles
that in
and
the
bricks.
collection.
Right. If they get a bottle, yeah, I'll buy the bottle if they get a bottle.
Yeah.
Oh, snap is Liv and the little shark.
Yeah. From
I
part
thought that
two.
was funny.
That's cute. That's actually really cute. But yeah, I mean, this was actually pretty dope. And I mean, from talking about the game, they've added, I guess, something here. I haven't played it yet, but I'm interested in it. Let's see what it is. The multiplayer, it's not really a multiplayer. It's kind of like you're going through different trials through the remastered version. It's really fun. It's really hard at times, but it gives you some really interesting like tidbits and stuff as well. So recommend it if you can. But I think that was all the merchandise stuff, right?
Yeah, as far as I know, most of everything else that was like merch and stuff was stuff that you have to go through online and put in. Like, for example, something they wanted people to be like part of is like, go put your photo mo on, which is, it's not a daily thing and whatnot, but like there's new costumes and whatnot, to circle it back to, I think, Jeffrey's question or no, Cameron Walker's question, I believe, was, the whole state of play thing. I was like, all right, cool. Now part 2 remastered is on Plus, which, I have thoughts about this choice of dropping stuff off. But yeah, again, it was mostly merch stuff and just telling people how they're appreciative of everybody's connected to the fan base, the franchise. I believe, this was another thing they showed as well, that like they wanted frames, again, avatar frames from the game, if you will, just nookie cookie stuff, in my opinion, nookie cookie stuff for gamers that usually you would get and learn. And also, again, something very festive like jack-o'-lanterns are happening. I believe there's like a company that makes boots that are making Last of Us themed boots that are out there. So I forgot the name of the brand, but yeah, it was just a whole nother. Yeah, look at that. Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, I would like to do the Firefly emblem on the jack-o'-lantern. That would actually be pretty dope.
That would be cool.
But
yeah,
that's pretty much everything that I've seen. Unless you're a
I'm
card
shocked
collector.
there was another. And here's the last thing: the little secret layer thing for any big hardcore card collectors. Which, even looking at this now, I don't even know if it's an actual card or if it's a digital thing. They're like,
right.
collect buy. But there's a little like, PlayStation Go or what's the other one? Fucking Pokemon, whatever. It's their iteration of just like Naughty Dog the Gathering or whatever they want to call it, whatever.
Yeah,
but it was just more stuff in that. Which, again, okay, folks, there's the article that I recommend. Through all the socials, Naughty Dog put it out. We can go look at it. How they're appreciative of everybody's being a fan and the stuff you can buy. Here's the thing, and I think it's not shocked that people, and there's been the Discord all day of like people's anticipation and expectations. Did anybody in this roundtable wanted a part 3 announcement? Yeah. Did we want to at least? Yeah. Do we want to see something or an update on season 3 of the TV show? Yeah.
I mean, give me a freaking novel. Hell, I don't care.
But But here's exactly, and I'm so glad that you brought that up because some of us were going, and I'm not gonna say who, but like some were like they're never announced shit. And a lot, again, a lot of the joke now is like it's just another merch drop. It's just another merch drop. I don't even want to say it, but it's almost like a joke now. It's like it shouldn't be called Last of Us Day. It should be called Merch Day. And just like get your wallet, make sure you save enough money for that, and be ready to buy a whole bunch of stuff whenever you can. Before we go, Darren here saying man lost his voice just for a second. Fucking technology is technology, but
I told you this was going to happen. I told you this was going to happen. I told you.
I know.
Damn it. You know how many things they're juggling right now? Well, wait
a minute. Here's the thing. And someone, I responded to someone's post who brought up the whole expectation stuff, which sure, this is what I wanted, these two things that we laid out. Sure, I wanted to. Now, recently, it's not my control, and I'm not owed that right now on this day. However, and you guys tell me if I'm wrong, if you agree, disagree, your perspectives. I collect, but it's been a minute money. Right now, it's tight right now. Exactly. I mean, yeah. I don't know if anybody knows, but like the economy is fucked right now.
Yeah.
But I don't know if flushing out this much money gets you to connect with stuff that's already being connected. If you've seen what I think Cameron says here. I've seen people here who are pissed that PlayStation on Unlock keeps remastered or putting Last of Us games on PlayStation Plus instead of making Last of Us Part 3. And yeah, that's a whole other perspective of what we're talking about right now, Cameron. And am I the only one here that like the first one more than the second one? I like the first one more than the second one. I've only played the second game once. I like it, but not as much as the first game. That's just my opinion. No, there's if you're in Discord, if you're on socials on 2020, you would have heard how people felt about.
Oh, yeah, that's the roaring majority opinion around the Last of Us franchise. That part 1 is better than part 2. The only caveat part 2 usually gets is that the gameplay is better, which just is objectively true.
Yeah.
I will say, at least for me personally, the gap gets smaller and smaller over time between the two games for me personally, but I do prefer part 1. But I would say part 2 is just like a little notch below it because there's little nitpicks I have with it.
Sure.
I would definitely say that part 2 is better than part 1. Narrative, well, he already said something about the gameplay, but narratively, I think part 2 is superior to part 1. It's like the same game, but somehow it's even more complex and epic and memorable. Yeah, way more memorable. But in my opinion, way more. I would literally unforgettable. For sure.
I think that the thing about the second game is that he didn't make that second game to please anybody. No. I think it's kind of like imagine like your favorite director making something. And it's good, but it's not meant to make you feel good.
Oh no!
It's to tell a story and to tell the story the best way that he wanted to. And it's kind of like that's why I've always respected the second game. Does it hurt me? Yes. Does it fuel me? Yes. But constructively, and that's why from a critic standpoint, it's so hard to adjust to what you really kind of feel good about. Versus like, what is it? Was it framed well? Was it directed well? Was it acted well? Did it have the thing that gave you like, okay, this is like raw cinema? And it's like the second game is truly raw cinema. I think that's one of the hard parts about people and their perception about the TV show is kind of like, can it really be truly cinematic? Some people have said that the second game should have been movies. I've heard that before. But what it should have, could have. I'm just thankful that we're getting what we're getting, to be honest.
Yeah, we can still get movies. To be fair. I mean, the franchise is going to be lucrative for a long, long, long time, way beyond us. So, I mean, it could. I think movies are coming.
It's not the realm of possibility, I think. And again, one of the things I think Sam found it. This is what I was mentioning. There's boots. Exclusive with Last of Us stuff that you can buy, which I'm like, cool, it's the fall, but I can only imagine that's probably going for like $80 to $100 probably.
Dude, I ain't gonna lie.
I want these joints. 200.
I want these.
They're probably some clean ass boots though.
Ooh, yeah. The New Yorker in me is going fucking crazy right now, dude. Holy shit.
Clean boot. That's clean. I'd cop them for sure.
Like if it's like 150, I'd
Oh shit! Yeah, I buy that.
No,
No problem.
regular Tims are usually like almost 200, so I would assume
Damn.
those are probably like 250.
Yeah,
Hold up, is this available right now?
I think so.
I think you can get it now, or you can pre-order it. I think.
Damn.
Those are dope though.
Yeah, these
they're
are clean, bro. These are
Those
clean.
are clean for sure.
Yeah.
I want it.
Yeah. But to go back to it, how do we feel? You see that they just dropped more merch. How do we feel? Are we disappointed? Are we relieved? Are we, do we have too much expectations? How do we feel about it? And we'll start with I know, Drew, but let's start with Sam, and then we'll go around this way and see how we feel about it. Okay?
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Honestly, as much as me and Jarrell go back and forth, we've been doing this for years. Like most of the time, either he's right or I'm right, and we just kind of like, whatever, it is what it is. But I think that it may have been a missed opportunity. I think at the very least, they could give fans something to look forward to, even without announcing a third game. They could have said like, hey, we're working on this, or hey, like we are kind of working on a very interesting pitch for a novel, or hey, like these are some of the ideas we've gone with. Like even if Neil would have went on and did like a 30-minute live stream talking about like how he started the concept of it. Like I think my thing about this is it doesn't have to be about a third game, but I think you have to show your fans that you really do care outside of just merch, because it's kind of like the merch is cool, but it's like if you want people to stand with you, give them something, give them a bone. Like there's a reason why the Grand Theft Auto like franchise is still going, and that's because we didn't pay nothing for the online. They've consistently added brand new things, and even when they did like the little money stuff, like I could go on Grand Theft Auto right now and get online and be stuck in it for years, just because they're still adding to it. They're still innovating. And even with a 6th game coming, like I've never dropped off. I've always got something tangible to do something with. And I think that from a Naughty Dog perspective, it's just a missed opportunity. I think that it's cool. I don't have any issue with it. I'm not disappointed. I'm just used to it. And I think that when you get used to something, the engagement for it, the excitement for it changes. And I think that might be more of a problem than anything. Yeah. It's kind of like if they announce like on Christmas, hey, The Last of Us 3 is coming. Cool. That's great. Right. But it's kind of like if there's a deflate in time in between, like, man, there's a whole hell of a lot of life going on right now. People losing their jobs. People can't even spend money on games. Right. Like I just talked about Grand Theft Auto 6. And I say now that I'm going to buy it, but I don't know. Like from an economical standpoint, like it's hard. It's hard going to the movies, right? So you have to meet your audience where they are. And with times like now, give them a bone. And that's why I appreciate them for putting the 2nd game on the PlayStation Marketplace, because technically they didn't have to do that. So I think that that's a really good thing.
Okay. What about you, Drew? Let it out. Tell me what you've been telling me these past few weeks. He's been like, brother, they're not gonna do shit.
I mean, it's just, I mean, like I said, it definitely does not surprise me because it's just so early. I mean, we're talking about a game that realistically is years away. It'd be fantastic if it was coming out in like 2 years or next year or something, but that's not going to happen. Okay. So it's years away, realistically. If we're just being honest, especially if it's, meant to like succeed the first 2 or something crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Also, like I was just saying before, they're juggling so much, and like the, what is it called? Intergalactic, whatever it's called, the Heretic something.
The Heretic.
Like that doesn't have It doesn't have a release date. Okay, season 3 of the show doesn't have a release date. Not officially, not confirmed. They don't have release dates. Like a hard date that doesn't exist. It's like we don't even have that, and like we're expecting The Last of Us Part 3 sort of like announcement, because that's another thing. that I disagree with Sam about is that I think it doesn't matter when it's announced. It's internet breaking stuff. It's irrelevant when it's announced. It could be announced 11 hours from now or 11 months from now, but I think the timing is sort of irrelevant because the material is so potent and like it lingers, which almost never happens with any story. So, you know, I don't think there's a missed opportunity. You can announce this bitch any fucking time, and people are gonna be like, "Wait, what?" You know what I mean? And like arguing and excitement. It's just a circus. But they got nothing to worry about on that front. They just got to worry about, you know, somehow being better than the first two.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, anyway, before I go on my tangent, Johnny.
I mean, I think everyone here, I think we all kind of expected it to probably not be too eventful of a day, unfortunately. You know, we made jokes that, yeah, we're going to see statues and merch and stuff come out, and, you know, that's what happened. But I was a little disappointed because I thought maybe they would do something to celebrate season 2 of the show or something like that. Maybe just, you know, give some kind of like something small. Like, you know, I don't think anybody really was expecting release dates of like, oh, hey, by the way, like not only are we making The Last of Us Part 3 is coming out in like 2028 or whatever. But just like kind of like what Sam was saying, like just tease a little bit. Just give us a little something like, oh, Neil said this kind of weird cryptic thing. What does he mean? Like just something for us to kind of like talk about in a sense, instead of like just being like, oh, you know, let's get a fucking Lev Shark plushie and and kind of just hang out. Like I don't know. I mean, it is cool, but like I just think there's ways to celebrate. Like, yeah, you know, we just did a second season of this HBO adaptation of the game. Like, let's talk about maybe some behind the scenes of that stuff. Maybe some things that we're thinking about doing for season 3, or just little tidbits. Like, even for people that may not even know the games too much, like talk about how maybe season 3 is going to be focused on Abby and what that could mean. Like, you know, just something like that. Like, just give a little something out there. And really, at the end of the day, too, I know it's unrealistic, but honestly, if they wanted to announce part 3 today, they could have. Like, you don't have to put a release date on. Just be like, hey, we're cooking something, you know? Like, that's all we could say. Like, you know, there's something going on behind the scenes in the Last of Us franchise. Like, just something like that.
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of like where I'm at. Where, like, you know, we expected the merch. It's kind of fun to make fun of the merch and stuff because we just expect it every year. But I do think that the day, like we've all been joking about, is turned into like a merch drop instead of like a celebration of the games. Like, even if they drop like a surprise episode of the Last of Us podcast or something like that, like, I don't know, just something like just to celebrate the legacy of not even the games, because we're past it being just a video game now. This is a full scale franchise and just, you know, global brand now. Like, just something to give us something to kind of talk about and overreact to, and, you know, just something to kind of keep the fan base going a little bit.
Yeah.
That's really all I was hoping for. I wasn't really expecting it, but I was hoping for it. So I can't really say I'm disappointed, but I do think for the coming years to have the Last of Us Day actually mean something to us besides Dark Horse statues and stuff being put out. Like, just some kind of something. You know, that's it. I mean, because Neil teased that, you know, there's maybe a third story in that Grounded documentary. Would it have killed him to say, like, yeah, there is a third story and we're kind of thinking about what to do with it? Just even that. Like, you don't even have to say it's in production or anything. Just something. I don't know.
Yeah. I agree. It just, and listen, and here's, you know, Jeffrey asked a question. Were there also talking about a multiplayer Last of Us game?
God,
that was initially during the pandemic. That was the big swing. That was the big production they were going to do, and then they canned it because they couldn't make it work. Jeffrey says, imagine if they do a movie of the comic that Ellie reads. Is it Savage Starlight? Is that the name of the comic? Yeah. Like, again, even something like that would have been cool. And I just think fucking chainsaw. Yes.
We are woke.
Yes, we do not exist in another dimension. I'm gonna leave it vague as that. But yeah,
I brought
it's
up the
just
Lev Shark.
yeah. I listen, boys. What I've been in camera and outside of camera. What have I been telling you guys? What's one of my favorite things of the Last of Us franchise? What have I been telling you guys? A fucking comic book, a comic book. And again, you don't want to touch Joe, Ellie, or Abby right now. Fine, just give me another story in another part of the Last of Us world. And if you're telling me no one in Hollywood, no one in the world has pitched you a comic book or a novel, like, what are we doing here? Then, like, is it up to me? Then I have to go write the comic book. I have to write the novel. Like, is that where we're at? Like, and again, I'm not saying that like I'm old. Those things that we just said. I'm not old. Part 3 now. I'm not old. Season 3 updates. But something as this goes a long way, in my opinion, nowadays. And not even that like you're gonna be able to buy a book, but like you can even like start like hinting at the summary of like we're gonna spend time in the outbreak world in what I've been saying in Mexico or in Japan. And how do they handle it? What does it mean for them? Is this a good thing? Do they see this as a means to an end? Do they mean this is this a reboot for them in terms of life? How are their dynamics in terms of like family and values? Like there's a whole tapestry you can do with that, with taking it outside of the US and dropping it in somewhere else. In both the comic book medium or in a novel medium, or hell, even a short. I don't know if you guys remember this, but remember in season 1, the opening, the cold opening to the finale, where we see Anna, Ellie's mom, and how she gives birth to Ellie. That initially was supposed to be a short and in a video game, I think, or like an animated short. I can't remember if it was live action or not. But that was an initial idea to do that. And it's just like something like that would go a long way. And I think Sam even said it best that like something as simple as saying we're gonna have a stream and we're gonna have people who've worked in the franchise, both cast and crew, just to give their 2 cents and ask any questions that any fans online have. Not pre-recorded, not pre-submitted questions, like something that you on Twitter or on Threads or on Blue Sky or on YouTube or on Twitch can submit and have that engagement with said person and be like, you know what? During this day of celebration, I got to ask something and I got it answered. Now, some stuff they may not be able to answer, and that's okay. That's something we have to live with, a franchise that has NDAs and stuff that they don't want to spill the beans on. And listen, I know, the cast, they all have their own personal lives. They have their own careers. They're probably either busy or whatnot, but like something is simple. And it's only one day out of the year. And we all know when that day falls. If we read the scripts and know the franchise and know that you're part of it, you know when that day falls. Something as simple as being on a couch or on a chair in a live stream for half an hour, 15 minutes. Hell, I'll even take this because I know some of them are working internationally. Send a pre-recorded 5-minute video saluting everybody of like endure and survive. Like that goes a long way, in my opinion, than just getting an update of like, oh, well, this is what my wallet is going to get in terms of my account. This is how much withdrawal you have now because you went shopping at, some print shop or whatever. Like
Dark Horse.
There's I feel like now I have to pitch it to them to be like, don't just sell me stuff. Like bring some of us who are creators, bring them to a facility in LA, set up something simple that's gonna be too fancy, and just let us geek out and share that enthusiasm with around the world. That goes a long way, in my opinion, especially now where people either not outgoing, are introverted, they don't want to like make friends in person. Online is another keystone way to do that. This is how I met y'all. We haven't met in person, minus Sam. One day I'm hoping to meet y'all in person, but we've been friends for a few years now doing this. If we can manage this, how the hell can they not manage that with a fan base? And I'm not being preachy. I'm just saying that's an idea and a concept, and I'm shocked that hasn't been tried yet. I don't know.
And even an idea that I just had, like thinking about it, a little bit of a stretch, but I saw they're doing that kind of like tournament thing for no return. What if they had people go back to the PS4 version of Last of Us and do like a little factions like tournament or something with a bunch of like content creators or something, like just something, like I don't know, just something to have us talk about other than fucking wallpapers.
Yeah, I will say that they probably should have had something more significant for today. I figured that they wouldn't have had something as seismic as part 3 just yet. Well, but that's another thing I was going to say is with part 3, I think the unfortunate thing there is that they kind of can't just nonchalantly be like, oh, hey, by the way, it's officially happening. See ya. Like, they kind of got to have like a mic drop moment associated with that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
or they're on stage and there's a crowd and like, you know, they kind of they got to have, it's got to be like a mic drop moment. I would assume that's a huge announcement.
I mean, like,
Again, I don't know. Go ahead, Johnny, please.
I was just gonna say, I mean, like to me, like, even if you just say it's like in production, it's something. I mean, like, because if you say it's in production, then you do like a state of play, and then you kind of get a Wolverine situation where like all of a sudden it's just like a Naughty Dog teaser starts. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, I don't think even them just saying that, like, yeah, the rumors are true, like we are working on something, would have been like, you know, I think it would have been a great thing for Last of Us Day. Just, you know, just simple, cut and dry. Like, yes, we hear people talking about it. It's happening. That's all we can say. Like, yeah, it's happening. Give us time.
Yeah.
And, you know, just stay tuned. And we'll get back to you eventually.
Yeah. I don't know how many times they've met in person, but imagine if for a stream for 5-10 minutes we got Joel with Joel and it's just Troy and Pedro, or Ellie with Ellie, and you have Ashley and Bella, or you have, you know, Dina with Dina, and you have Shannon and Isabella, and like it's like something like that is something that I could picture, like, you know, just do that. The fans would eat that up so much that, like, oh my gosh, 2 versions are meeting. That's as cool as a meta crossover as you can get.
Yeah,
and it's free.
I think the problem with that is that has to be something that Warner's and HBO have to rally behind. And it can't just be on Naughty Dog, it can't just be on Neil. Like, that's something that HBO could pitch. Like, I think the problem is that HBO isn't looking at Last of Us Day as something to really push.
Yeah,
and I don't think they even care necessarily about the game if they do make a 3rd game. They just care about getting these stories up, getting these seasons out, and getting the fan base railed. But I think if there was a true collaborative effort between Naughty Dog and HBO, we would get like real events. We would have, like at San Diego Comic-Con, like a real true event for The Last of Us. We would get like, even probably like when Last of Us Day happens, like there actually being like a live stream. Hell, like what Zack Snyder would go through, right? When Zack Snyder was going and pitching like Zack Snyder's Justice League, before it even people conceivably thought of it existing, like he would go up and like, hey, you guys, we're gonna have a talk about this. I'm gonna just show you this, show you that. Like he would literally open up movie theaters in random spots for people to come through and just talk about his movies, right? Like, and these are just movies. These aren't even like franchise-based games. And so I think that's something that could be done, but it has to be a push somewhere. And Neil doesn't have the time to do it, and Naughty Dog has to make a collaborative effort to make it work. And I want to share the screen real quick, because I thought to myself, I was like, man, they could have
bring that up.
They could have just used this. They could have waited and let this be something. And I don't want to play the audio because I don't want to get Ronan into trouble. But basically, this is Neil, this Ashley Johnson in here, and they're just talking about the different characters. They're talking about Ellie. They're going and breaking down. Like, that would be something better than what we've got. And they could have just waited for Last of Us Day for that. But instead, they did nothing. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's ways, there's levels to this that you can make it work. They just chose not to, but it does require studio assistance. It does require like a collaborative effort. And I think that unfortunately, The Last of Us Day, outside of people that know it, don't know it. You know what I mean? Yeah. They don't even know that it exists. Like, it's like, what the hell is Last of Us Day? What does that even mean? And it's like, thankfully, you know, people like us are doing a stream like that, or nobody would even understand what it actually is, let alone the hashtag. Yeah,
I told you guys that, like, when I went to that gallery exhibit a few years ago, that was one of the most coolest things I had done as a fan of this franchise, because I was in person with people and we were seeing all these prints, and minus the prints, they had like a little like place they can go see where you know, someone would camp out, and there are people dressed up as federal officers or like survivors, or and it was a tiny little part that was immersive, and I'm like, do that, make it a big local thing in the area, like in LA, and then you just stream it. You stream it with everybody, and they're like, okay, that's something we should do. What the hell? Are you surviving? Clickers surrounding your section.
He looks like Leo in his new
that's
movie.
what it is. Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is.
Yes, he got it.
I haven't even seen the movie yet, but that's what it is.
Yeah. But like, and I just hope that, and I'm not saying this to listen to us all the way, but take a note of this. Just saying that, like, you don't have to give us a silver plate, but like, don't when we expect already what's gonna happen, it kind of takes the fun out of it. And I'm not, and I won't sugarcoat it. It does take the fun out of it. I'm like, well, I know I'm not gonna be able to buy this and this and this and this right now, but to be quite frank, this is what's making up for it. Talking with you guys, because they gave us an excuse to meet up and just hang out for an hour or so, and that's what it came down to. Now, would it have been nice if we had got to talk about, there's a book coming down or comic? Okay, where can they go? Okay, what does this mean? All right, let's talk to any, hell. Okay, like I said, if said story was taking place in Japan, in Tokyo, okay, let's meet up with let's reach to any big Last of Us fans in Tokyo and Japan and get their perspective. How would you manage the outbreak? How would you do clickers? What would be your weapon of choice? How would you reside? Would you move out? Would you fight back? How would you do it? There's dialogue to be occurred with an idea like that is not even built in. Nothing that's not pitched, nothing that's in production, but just an announcement. And again, I hope that, and hope come next year, we're not preaching the same thing. Like, I hope that there's a lesson to be learned by then, because, and again, I'm not saying they're on a time clock, but it's been 5 years since part 2, and there's been hints for a few years now, and that's just like, why would you even hint at that now then? Or hell, make an excuse. Be like, listen, folks, for Last of Us Day, we have nothing new to announce, but someone in the family of Naughty Dog is having a new game, Intergalactic. Let's spend an hour and let's just talk about Intergalactic. Like, cool. Let's talk about Intergalactic for an hour. We know that not to expect anything from the Last of Us world, but they're in the Naughty Dog family. Let's help out the game out in some shape possible. That would have been at least something else to have an engagement with. I don't know. I wonder how the rest of the fan base feels, besides just, where's part 3 and where's season 3 and where was the DLC? Besides that aspect, I really do wonder what everybody else is feeling like. And man, I wish I had a mic and camera just be like, are you a Last of Us fan? How do you feel about nothing still going down, nothing new? Yeah. And again, it just goes to show that there's so much opportunity out there to be to take advantage of and not leave it down on the cutting room floor, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I was kind of like, where is this music coming from? Where's the Last of Us music? Oh, I was like, there's Last of Us music happening. I've been trying to close so many tabs. I was like, what is happening? I'm losing my mind.
I recently tried putting in music, and I was like, this feels like Last of Us music. I'm like, fuck, let me put it in the background, see how it goes and whatnot.
Some Jackson tunes.
Yeah, it definitely is Last of Us theme for sure.
Vibe.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this.
Go ahead. I was just going to say, if I had known today was going to go the way it's going to go from a news point of view, I just would have saw one battle after another again. Seeing it tomorrow, though.
All right. But let me ask you this, because nobody else is doing it. Let me ask you this, and I'm curious to see how different is it. What would you have preferred right now beyond the obvious? Like if you're to get anything new out of the Last of Us world, what would it have been? And let me even hone in on what character would you want to focus on? Would it just have been Ellie, or would you want it to spend time on another aspect? Like, I hear people be like, you know what about Fedra? What else is happening with Fedra? Are they still a thing in this still franchise? Is there other aspects to Fedra that are not as bad as they are, or worse? What's a project or something else you would wish we would get today instead of just what we got.
I think that, because one of the things that I thought was amazing with the second season was when we got the prequel to Joel's story, right? I think what would be very interesting, and comic books have done this over the years, like with characters like Punisher, Spider-Man, like they've shown like what led them to be the people who they are. Like, of course, we saw in one episode a little bit, but it would have been very fascinating to see how Joel moves after, that event that happened with his dad. Like, whether that is him going into the military, whether that is him meeting his wife or his significant other that had his child. Like, I think it would be very interesting to see, like, kind of the lead up. And I would just love that with any of the characters, whether it be Tommy, from Tommy's perspective. I think that'd be more interesting. If it was from Tommy's perspective, like seeing Joel grow up and then him also having to traverse that, leading up to like where he ends up. Because I think, to be honest with you, I could see the third game very interestingly seeing where Tommy's perspective goes. So I think that to tell his story up until a certain point would even be more interesting and masterful. But I would love anything to do with storytelling. I was praying that we were going to get like, the 5-year gap, that we would get small little pocket stories and leading up to everything that got to the second game. But even that space of time, we didn't get anything. So I would love a novelization of that, the 5 years.
Man.
But if you ain't going to give me a game within the 5 years, give me a novel, give me a comic, get whatever the hell. But yeah.
I mean, I kind of echo that. My answer is just gonna be anything Tommy related, honestly. Like, I mean, he's just fucking awesome.
Uncle Tommy.
Yeah, he's Uncle Tommy. And then it's just like, when you think about his perspective too, so he grows up with Joel, starts the outbreak with Joel, does a bunch of terrible shit with Joel, leaves Joel, goes and enjoys the Fireflies, can see what the Fireflies were like in early days too. Like, I think Tommy, and then he leaves and starts his own huge, place in Maria. I think Tommy's story is just like begging to be told. Like, I think he has an amazing story to be told potentially. I think you would get a lot of really good, you'd get everything you would want. You'd get like the origin, like the beginning of the pandemic and everything. You get Hunter stuff, you get Firefly stuff, you probably get some Fedra stuff, you get Jackson stuff. Like, you just kind of get everything that you could really want for The Last of Us, at least to me. I would love, like, I know people always kept saying, like, oh, we want like a Joel and Tommy game. Like, yeah, but just, anything really with more Tommy in it, I'm game for, or just something along those lines. Like, maybe picking just side characters, kind of almost like the HBO show does, like even like a Bill thing, or
short
David.
story. Yeah.
I love David. He's a creepy fuck and he's amazing. And get Nolan North to come back somehow for David. Oh my god. Just something like that, like little, almost like how Star Wars does, like Tales of the Jedi or something. Just get like a little mini
Tales
thing
of Fedra.
like, yeah, of just like a couple side characters.
I did want to ask a question though for all of you guys. Like, when you think about Tommy, right? Mm-hmm. And his stance on Abby and his stance on everything that transpired after Joel got killed. Sorry, spoiler.
Well, what kind of the show, anyways?
What kind of man would Tommy be in the third game after everything's transpired? Because
that's what I've been most excited to see.
To me, I feel like he'd be the most dangerous character. Like, he has nothing to lose, and he would want nothing but retribution. And I mean, the man is skilled. I mean, yes, he's hurt now, but the way his mind works, I don't know. It's kind of like you live long enough to see yourself become the villain, and I feel like that would be Tommy. But I don't know, y'all, what was y'all's perspective? I just wanted to ask.
I really would think Ellie would try to make amends with that with him, and be like,
how could she? How?
I'm not.
Let the girl live.
That's why I'm excited for part 3 and just The Last of Us in general. Because I remember when I beat the first game, I was like, where do we go from here? I was like, I know we're going to be in Jackson. Like, you have ideas, like basic, just we're going to be in Jackson with Joel. Something will happen, and, whatever will happen, will happen. but
Yeah.
like nobody predicted what part 2 was going to be, except for like maybe, you know, I think everybody had a thought that maybe Joel would die somehow, but not that way and what it would mean. But like part 3, I think that too is like, that's why I'm excited, is I have no idea what they would do for part 3. Like, would it focus more on Ellie? Would it focus more on Abby? Would we focus on other characters? Like, what the possibilities, I think, are just, there's so many.
Yeah.
Because obviously I think you pick up with Santa Barbara and Abby. You have to. And then what does Ellie's decisions mean for her relationship with Dina? And, you know, like, just her relationship with Jackson in general. I don't know. Like, there's a lot of open-ended things. I mean, I think the big fan theories, everyone's like, oh, like Ellie and Abby will make up, she'll go to Santa Barbara, they'll make the cure, Ellie will sacrifice herself, and, you know, happy ending. But I think Neil would say, fuck that shit. Like, no happy endings here, bitch. So, like, no, that's too simple. So that's why, like, I have no idea, and that's why I'm so excited for part 3. I just don't. You can grasp on the straws, but at the end of the day, you have no idea what that beautiful, sick fuck genius Neil is cooking up.
You know, one of the questions that I take also is like, do we get a big time jump? Do we not get a big time jump? You know, do we get, you know, old lady Ellie, or is it just like a few years down the line? Like, how much time has gone by, or is it right after? I hope it's not right after. I feel like there should be
a little bit of time, a
little bit of leave it into the imagination. Then maybe if down the line you want, you could put in a comic book or a novel to see what happened in the middle, and leave that for the fans to like go like, where has she been through to get her to me to get me to revisit her again? Why now?
You could also do what part 2 did, where you give the little flashbacks like intertwined, if you want something like that again. It's possibilities are endless. There's so many.
I think it's probably gonna be something like there's gonna be new characters, obviously. So I think it's gonna be some kind of thing where it's like an old woman Ellie, and there's like these new characters that are making Ellie and Joel like mythic within the story. Probably something like that.
Almost like Logan.
Yeah.
Well, because I think it would be a mistake to sort of just like abandon Ellie, and like the last thing we saw is her and 2, and then that's that. I think that would be a misstep. So, I think that would be a gross sort of misreading of people's relationship with Ellie. So I think you need to finish her story, or at least give a way better ending than that. We got into, I think that involves her. Maybe like decades have flashback or flown by. That would definitely be quite disturbing. You know, like the same Ellie when she's like in her 40s or something, late 40s. That sounds quite terrifying. But
almost be close to where Joel's age was at when he met her.
Oh man.
Yeah, right. Oh, Jesus Christ! Could you imagine she's the same age as Joel? There could be some very rich material there. And again, I think her story deserves I don't want to say a proper ending, but certainly an ending better than what we got in the second game.
Man, if Ellie was kind of like Joel's age and Dina's child was probably about her age as she is now, that would be freaking insane. Because Dina's child, from a trauma standpoint, what happened to her biological father, and what's happened to Dina, and what happened in the falling out with Ellie, like she's got I can't remember if the child is a boy or a girl.
JJ.
Yeah, he got a story on him.
Potato.
JJ's got the whole story.
Well, I think her being the same age as Joel would definitely send some goosebumps. You know,
poetic, sad but poetic.
I don't know. I don't know how I'd feel about that. That'd be a lot.
That's what I'm saying. It's so rich.
It's also because like if you make Ellie Joel's age, to me, as much as I hate to say it, that could be a effing chat for Tommy. I don't know if he's living that long with everything that's happened to him.
Right. I mean,
might have to go visit Tommy's gravestone next to Joel, and I don't know if I'm mentally ready for that. I don't want to say bye to Tommy, even though we're not on good terms.
But it's funny, the things that you guys were saying with Tommy, like I think Neil Druckmann, he like myself, we love great like narrative questions or like timeless questions. So I could see this scenario where like it's like actually no, we're in a timeline where Tommy has either died or he's near dead. Because Druckmann makes hard decisions like that, you generally speaking. So,
what if in this game, Ellie's older and there's no more clickers? Just have it be in black. Tommy is the Professor X character, and be like, Tommy, the world's not the same way you are. The clickers, they're gone now, and just be like, what does that mean? Like, okay, are there any who are we fighting? Because it's for those who don't know, it's an action thriller drama game. There's gameplay. You have to fight someone. So like, are we still fighting infected, or are we fighting just people? Which again will be very like narrative. It's just like, okay, the clickers are gone now, but they left a mark on us. And are we mindless creatures now, or are we have any sensibility to be like, no, you keep moving forward. You find something you need to fight for, and you build up again. Which is again what Joel was trying to teach Ellie in his most father-like way, but also while hiding the truth of like, and then what if word gets out that she wasn't immune? She could have helped all the people all this while now, and it's just like, no, she's the last thing society wants out of. And what does that do to her in the mindset? Oh, the possibilities are endless. Possibilities are endless, man. Man. I'm gonna start wrapping things up. I want I want us to look at this because we started this franchise and these games, these shows, with these two. Mm-hmm. We're not here without them too, and Gustavo Santaollalla's music, which I think people still like underrate. He's still an underrated composer, in my opinion. Yeah. And the last thing we saw, again, spoilers for those who haven't played it or haven't done it yet, is this. We got this.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
To wrap things up, tell me, is there something that you miss of playing the games for the first time or watching the show for the first time? Is there something that people should know that like this is my favorite thing, or this piece of addition, or again, even tell people, what do you want? Like what do you want now that you are a fan? And until next Last of Us Day, what's the thing you hope enters your life as a fan? Anything? Any final thoughts? I want everybody to go around the corner and let any thoughts of the franchise, past, present, or future wise. Okay, I'll start off.
I was just saying.
Druckmann, Neo, Jefe, I don't want to be in my 40s or 50s by the time the third game comes out. That's all. I don't want to be. I don't want too long. Want to keep me waiting for a few years? Fine, but like don't keep me waiting too long. And there's got to be a bookend. He said multiple times, we could end it right here. It's like, no. You can end it from now here. That's your choice, your characters, your story. But then it there, I'm like, no. And please don't pull a Godfather Part 3. Don't wait 2 decades to tell a story and be like that. Like that's not an ideal thing for me. And it would be something I do want to see. If in Part 3, if that happens, might happen, will happen, should happen. If we get a flashback, I want a flashback with Joel. And I would like to see Anna in the games. We got to see Anna in the show. Mm. I would really like to see Anna in the games. Mm. And to keep it apropos, I really would want to see Bella Ramsey play Anna. Mm. Flip it. Ashley was Anna in the game, and in the show, Bella would play Anna in the games. That's something I would like to see. That'd and I'm cool. Very interested. I'm very interested to see if they do it and Gustavo comes back, what the music's going to be like for Part 3. Because it can't be like 2 and it can't be like 1. I'm very interested to see where they go with the music like that. Mm-hmm. That's where I'll leave it at that.
So what do we want or like
what do we want? Any last thoughts of like this is I want people to know that this moment this exchange, this piece of dialogue, the sequence, this character choice means a lot to me. Anything you want to let people know,
Okay.
of what you want in the future, in the past, or in the present.
Okay, I'm gonna go completely blue sky, completely
Okay.
blue sky here.
All right.
So, I've been becoming obsessed with theme parks because I did not have them in my life as a kid. So, I think it would be interesting if they had some kind of portable or like mobile, like theme park, if you will, or some kind of like experience.
Museum?
That not a museum, like an experience where it feels like you are quite literally 5D, 10D, whatever inside of the world of the game. So where you're running from zombies, you're running from clickers, and like full body costumes and stuff like that. You're running past sets that look like they're from the world. Things like that. I think that would be like just exceptional because the game is tense. Like it can be scary. It can be creepy.
Fucking stalkers.
So like in between these long waits, it would just be like I know the Criterion collection. They have it's like a Criterion like mobile. I think it's like a van or something going around. So it's like it'd be interesting if there's like this mobile like theme park esque experience where you can go inside of the game like quite literally and like get the shit scared out of you and you feel enticed to want to watch the show, watch the movies, play the games, blah blah blah. There's grand prizes, blah blah blah. I think that would be like a hell of a fucking thing. Could you imagine if you're like, oh yeah, like this Halloween we could like go to this experience? Yeah. What are you talking about? You know what I mean?
I know a while back they had put out this video of this like VR thing they're putting out, I think, of you experiencing stuff from the game. Yeah. So I don't know if they'll go further with that, but I remember hearing that. I'm like, you know what? The closest thing we've gone to that was the little maze part in the Universal Horror
Halloween Horror Nights or whatever it is.
Halloween Horror Nights, exactly. Where they have new lines for both Joe and Ellie. You can experience the bloater and a clicker and whatnot. That's as close as we've gone to. But yeah, I've shared something like, and do it in a way where like it go through each state or each state of the country, and start off in Boston, and then go to Jackson, and then go to Austin, and do that, and then make your way to LA, and that would be
dude. And then like Pedro like shows up or something. You know what I mean? Like.
Oh, that would be a huge social media moment to be like, Pedro, you want to go in through the maze? And be like, no, like, well, you're Joel.
Because you can do these kind of things at like San Diego Comic-Con, but I'm talking about something like similar, but like on steroids in a way. Especially with HBO behind it, they can afford it.
Yeah, they got money.
The response would be extraordinary. I would pay for that right now if you were like, oh yeah, this Halloween, just pay like $86. Yeah. Whatever it would be, ticket.
If it wasn't an experience like that, and like I mentioned the whole museum thing, if they picked out a museum and make it look exactly like the game, I would pay money just to do that and be like, oh, man, this is where he put oil.
Bro, I just paid $75 to go to a haunted house tomorrow. I'll fucking drop $100 to go to the fucking the museum from part 2. I'll fucking cry. I'll bring 5 boxes of tissues and I'll cry my eyes out. It'll be worth it.
I was just about to say, even if it was like some crazy shit where it was like $100, like $200, I was like, if it was like they're like renting out like a whole Busch Stadium or some shit, I'd be like, and they're like just transforming it into the world of the game. I'd be like, listen, I'm there. Okay,
let me feed a fucking giraffe.
Yeah, there's real giraffes there.
Oh,
Could you imagine, bro?
That would be fun.
Yeah, you just have fucking Gustavo's music on loop. I'd cry and piss my pants.
Listen, HBO, I have ideas. I'm just saying. I have ideas for you. I can make you money, okay?
It's interesting that y'all brought up like an immersive experience. I'm gonna throw a pitch out there. Me and Jarrell have this conversation all the time. Well, we haven't had it in a while, but we used to have it all the time. I think in a perfect world, if James Cameron worked with Sony, and a lot of people don't know this, but Oculus is what everybody looks at their perception of what 3D is, right? Apple did their little dabbling. It's just too pricey for the market, even though the technology is there. It's amazing. I think if James Cameron worked with Sony and created a VR headset for the gamer, for the gaming experience, no one, not anyone, and hopefully y'all record this, y'all can use this later on. If and when somebody truly dedicates a VR experience for gamers, that any game will truly give you that depth of feel of actually being immersed in there, like somebody like James Cameron, that's it. Because that's going to change the perception of everything. And I think that something like The Last of Us, yes, these remasters are dope, right? But imagine really reliving the first game immersively in it, feeling it, right? You put that headset on, you put like a 3D,
gimbal, like I'm like in Ready Player One,
something where you're completely locked in. That is when the gaming community is going to change and shift, because it's not just going to be The Last of Us, but I think that The Last of Us would, if I was Sony, that'd be the staple. That would be the game that I would lock everybody in. And I think that Neil, if you're hearing this, James, if you're hearing this, and Sony, I'm giving you gold. Like I promise you, this will change the entertainment industry and make your money back. But of course, I do want The Last of Us 3. It's got to happen. But if you want something to give an immersive experience, that's it.
It would make so much fucking money. That's the thing. It would make so much money. Like I'd be looking into the Universal and like these Disney parks, like the money that they're outputting each year, and it almost doesn't even make sense the amount of money that they're like. I was about to say trafficking, but I probably shouldn't use that word. But I mean, they're going, bro. You have more than cinema. I would probably say by like a country mile, and then some. It's an extraordinary amount of wealth that they're going through each year with people coming in. So something like this, I mean, there'd be no loss. Who would not pay for this?
Dude, if they made a gimbal like Ready Player One and like the VR stuff, and they made all of us feel like we're back in
imagine running from seraphites.
Dude, if we are
in VR, I'd actually have diarrhea myself. Like, it'd be terrifying.
We're in Billstown and we have to push that damn truck, and us think we're pushing the truck while we're getting attacked by clickers and whatnot. Just like, yo,
imagine seeing the spores, like real spores. That would be so.
Yeah. Oh,
the Rat King.
Oh, fuck that! I would be like, nope, I'm out.
I couldn't play that side of it. I'm praying they get that right. But
if they find like an abandoned building, they're like, we'll rent it here, and they make it look like the hospital in part 2, and I just like, fuck that.
I'm not gonna lie, if they fumble the Rat King in the show, that's like, I'll be very angry, to say the least. That'll be a monumental fumble.
And they've already teased it.
I know. That's why I'm like, I know they're doing it. You got to do it. It's one of those where you got to do it. So I'm hoping.
Yeah. Captain Loud Pack says Factions 2 before TLOU 3. Anybody played Factions? Sam, I know, been talking about Factions from the get-go. I know Gianni likes the Factions stuff or not.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a good way to segue to my section. That was going to be my one hope, is like, I'm a simple man. All these ideas sound fucking amazing. I'm not as smart as you guys to think about these things, but yes, I say yes to all of it. I just want Factions, bro. I don't care if it's a standalone. I don't care if I have to wait 10 years when part 3 comes out to get it. Like, I just want Factions again. Shit. Remaster Factions. Keep the meme going. I don't give a fuck. But Last of Us Part 1 Factions remastered for PS5. I don't give a shit. I just want to play Factions again. That's my only wish. And like everybody else, obviously, Part 3 coming before I am 50 years old. Those are my 2 wishes. And then I guess just to kind of like celebrate the legacy of The Last of Us while we're wrapping it up. Like, I think everybody here can just very clearly remember the first time they played both games.
Yeah.
And just the journey it takes you on, not knowing what's coming next. And
Yeah.
all that. Like I will never forget when The Last of Us Part 2 came out, because I wouldn't even be here streaming if it wasn't for The Last of Us Part 2. That is the first game that I ever streamed. It was so important to me in my life at the time that I was like, I've always wanted to stream and make YouTube videos. I'm going to stream this. And that was my introduction to streaming. I was sitting there for 8 hours at a time, like fucking crying tears of joy, crying tears of sadness, raging, screaming, hype, like all the emotions, just flipping out like a fucking maniac in my room right here. When that game came out, I will never, and I remember like very vividly once the whole fight at the theater happens and you wake up at the farm at Santa Barbara, that entire part of my stream, if I go back and watch the VOD, I think the only words I said like for that last 30 games, what the fuck is happening? What the fuck is happening? What the fuck is that? Because I was like, dude, I thought that was like the end of the game. I thought I was like in a fever dream. Like I streamed for like almost 12 hours to beat the game. And I was like, am I hallucinating? Like, what is happening right now? And then you're fighting Abby in the water. I was like, dude, this is insane. I was like, I don't even know what I'm playing anymore. I don't know. She's fucking like hung up on a cross and shit outside. I was like, what the fuck is going on? I was like, I don't know what is happening right now. Fingers getting bitten off. And like, I was like, this is just insane. The porch scene.
In the middle of a pandemic.
In the middle of a pandemic.
We were playing this in the middle of a pandemic. It got pushed because of what was happening in real world. And for a lot of us, we had to sit through a weekend. I had to call off. I gave away shifts. I'm like, yo, I don't want to be at work because I'm emotionally compromised, and I don't want people to see me just randomly scream because I start seeing, hearing a guitar. It's Neil's fault because he loves Pearl Jam, but like I cannot now not hear Future Days and not get emotional.
Yeah,
like that is now just like burning my.
That's what I was gonna say, to give Gustavo his credit before we head out. Like, Beyond Desolation is one of my favorite pieces of score from anything I've ever heard. That's one where, like, no matter what mood I'm in when I play it, every now and then I just have to play it. Like, it just kind of, like, the melody just kind of comes into my head. It transports me straight to the game. And as soon as, like, the kind of title card, like, thing flashes, I just start crying, dude. I just start crying. Like, it just, every time I listen to it, I just get a tear in my eye, like, the single tear. And I'm just like, fuck, man. It hits every time. Like we all said at the beginning of the game, like whether you love or hate The Last of Us Part 2, it's one of the most unforgettable experiences of my entire life. As corny it might sound, like a video game is one of the most important experiences of my life. Like, yeah, I don't give a fuck, it is. Like that, like we said, during a pandemic where like this is like what we had. It was just an unbelievable experience that I will never forget. I've never played or watched something that made me feel the way that game made me feel.
Yeah.
Like nothing's come close. So that's my little glazing session of The Last of Us over with.
I respect it. I love that. I don't want to think about it too much, so now I'm gonna cry. Again, I share that sentiment with even the show. We were waiting for the moments, and then we would get hints of part 2, season 2, and we were like, astronaut, sheep, farm, and it was like, Sam will be attested to this, and Gianni and Jarrell attested to this. They're like, they tried multiple, especially Sam, to tell me, Ronan, it's a TV show, treat it like a TV show. I'm like, dude, I can't. Them wearing the costumes for one episode meant the world to me. The notion of like them doing the giraffe scene again meant the world to me. The notion that like,
it was adaptation that was actually cared about and had thought and love put into it. Just meant something on its own.
And I know some people, even somebody here in the comments, didn't like it at all. They didn't like it at all. Feel like they ruined it. And like again, that's just perspective how you feel. I know I felt that with part 2 at a certain point. And Sam will be a test. I'm still mixed on it, but the franchise is too good to let go as of now for me. And if you have, I respect that choice. It's your choice to live with. But yeah, it's just, I'm gonna quote him, but you gotta find something new to fight for. And this, I'm trying. Naughty Dog, I'm finding something new to keep going after all these years since part 2. I'm trying, y'all. But yeah, muchachos, thank you so much for taking the time out of your own day to celebrate with me. This was better than the merch drop. No offense to people behind the merch. This was better than the merch drop in my opinion. I know we're Last of Us fan, but we got much more stuff doing beyond that. So please, around the corner, all around, Sam, lead us off. Please plug yourself. Tell where can people find you, and plug anything you got coming down the pipeline.
Yeah, sure. I am the editor of JVS Media Productions. We have a YouTube channel called Team JVS. Team JVS is pretty much everywhere. It's on TikTok. It's on Instagram. It's on X. On TikTok, you can find some really cool stuff about anime. You can see some really cool exclusive interview content. We just came back from the Toronto International Film Festival. It's the 50th anniversary of that. We're going to have a whole lot of interviews, red carpets, and reviews that are going to be exclusively from our team that's going to be listed up there. And then we've got a lot of different things that are coming up, but I don't want to spoil everything, but yeah, there's some movies coming down the pipeline that you guys are not ready for, and they're going to hit you on an emotional level and excite you at the same time. So stay tuned for that. I can't wait to talk about it with these guys. Beautiful.
Jarrell?
Yeah, you can find me at Drills Alexandria, as is on the screen. It's my main hub, my YouTube channel, where all my content is. And God, there was something else I was going to say, but I forgot it. But I love The Last of Us. It's a curse, but I shall wear it.
It's amazing. Johnny, hermano?
Johnny Bravo 6 on Twitch. That's really all I use now as my Twitch channel. So follow me over there. Do Music Mondays with Chainsaw Reacts.
Yeah.
Trying to get some more gaming streams going. That's pretty much it. I'm just rambling about shit on my Twitch channel, listen to music, and occasionally playing a game or two. So
beautiful. And you can find us almost every Wednesday on Council Creators during Chainsaw Reacts YouTube channel. Yeah. For me, I'm doing a bunch of stuff. I just dropped early today the Peacemaker, the most recent episode reaction that you can find Sam being part of, and us freaking out over the stuff we've been speculating for a while now. And Mafia Johnny.
Next week I'll start it.
And I have reviews reserved for when Peacemaker ends. I know I would be shocked if I'm not covering Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein or I know. Anyways, I won't say it because I know we're allowed to. But I know. Wake Up Dead Man, Knives Out, Fallout. I have interest in the Chainsaw Man movie. I have an interest in covering because me and Sam covered that first season. I'm fucking waiting for that season 2. For anybody, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I've got a few subs since last night, so thank you so much for the new subs. Please grow out the channel. Again, I always say it that I have crazy ideas. My goal is that I have enough subs, they make a living out of this, and be on a lark, on a Tuesday. Just hit up Sam, hit up Johnny, hit up Jarrell, be like, yo, where you at? Okay, I'm gonna be there in a few hours. Call off, we're gonna go get breakfast, and we're just gonna go geek out. Everything's on me. Lunch, dinner, we're gonna just geek out for one day. I want to be able to do that and showcase it to people who are interested in seeing, like, this is what my group of friends and I am about. And hopefully y'all interested in doing that. I'm gonna end us out by playing a little bit of this because I know how much it means to Gianni. Play a little bit of this. Scared. Let's see. Tell me if you can hear it, okay?
Oh boy.
I'm actually kind of scared.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, I heard for a second. Oh, yeah. That's an action. Oof. Oh, my nipples are hard.
Everybody, as I always say, when we talk Last of Us, to the edge of the universe and back, endure and survive. Take care, everybody. Ciao.